Now, despite being threatened by relegation to League One, Birmingham City have today announced ambitious plans to build a new stadium and sports quarter, which will ultimately see them move away from St Andrews, their home since 1906. Owners Knighthead Capital Management have completed the purchase of a 48-acre plot on the former Wheels site in Bordesley Park, less than a mile away from their current home. Birmingham plan to build a new training facility on the site that will be home to the men's, women's and academy teams. Chairman Tom Wagner says the move is part of the ambitious vision to transform the experience for Birmingham fans. Well, here are some of the key points from Birmingham's statement. The site acquired is a huge 48 acres and will contain a range of entertainment and sporting facilities. The site is less than a mile, as we mentioned, from the current St Andrews Stadium in the east of the second city. And this will make sports fans in Birmingham excited. The club say they want to bring international sporting events to the region. They've branded it a sports quarter and say the ambition is for it to become a globally recognisable sporting and entertainment location. And good news for the city as a whole. The development of the sports quarter is expected to generate more than 3,000 local jobs. Well, the Birmingham chairman, Tom Wagner, has been speaking to our reporter, Anton Tolui, and we can hear from him now.
Yeah, the project is really to develop more than just a stadium. And we call it a sports quarter because our goal is to build a stadium, men's, women's, and academy training ground on the same site, same location, to bring them all together, but also bring in other entertainment options alongside the potential development for office, hotel, restaurants, pubs, so it becomes a destination 365 days a year. I think both economically, socially, arguably environmentally, it's appropriate to develop something of this scale that can be used more than just 25 or 30 days a year. So our vision has always been to develop all of these things collectively.
And it's just down the road as well. How important was that?
Critical. I mean, before we even made the decision to purchase our interest in Birmingham City, we had identified the Wheels site as being absolutely, a crucial piece of the overall puzzle in the development of the club, and really to take the club from this underinvested position it had been in for a long period of time, where that was having an impact on culture, was having an impact on fan engagement, certainly having an impact on on-pitch performance, and begin to show a vision of something different, where Birmingham City can achieve, I think, its rightful place as the name team in England's second city, right? It's a big club. It should be in a better position in every possible way.
Everyone's going to be excited about the complex as a whole,
yeah.
But it's the stadium itself that's going to get the most interest, isn't it? So talk to me about the numbers. How big a stadium can we expect? Well,
what we'd like to do is build something that would allow us to host international sporting events, right? And ideally it'd be great to have NFL events. If only we knew somebody that was connected to the NFL. There's many other options. Euro football, World Cup, potential for rugby events. There's a whole series of things that we could bring to bear that would allow the stadium to see increased usage. And obviously, all those revenues flow to the benefit of the club, so it's good for us. But those decisions will ultimately be driven by planning and approval process and ensuring that we can have an infrastructure that supports that many fans. So all those things are tied together, all very much in the works. The most important piece was the initial land acquisition. We've got that checked, and now we can move on to pursuing the rest of it.
In order to host your World Cup games, got to 40,000. NFL's going to be at least 60,000. So is that what we're talking about?
I mean, in a perfect world, that's exactly what we'd shoot for, and so that puts a lot of pressure on us to achieve those objectives I spoke to earlier. But it also means we've got to put a product on the pitch, for our fans that allows that kind of interest and have that many people showing up and have an experience that is commensurate with attracting that many fans. So a lot of work to be done, but it's something that we're certainly not afraid to pursue. And if we're able to get approval for something of that scale, we'll go after it.
With the links to NFL legend Tom Brady, could American football come to the second city? Earlier on, we spoke to Brett Gosper, the NFL's head of Europe, who says it's a possibility, albeit a fairly distant one.
In our reviews of cities, we're not actually reviewing the United Kingdom at the moment because, as I say, we have a long-term deal with the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. we're certainly looking and seeing whether there are other viable and desirable destinations across Europe and even across the world. So I'm sure, and we've heard plans that in Birmingham there'll be a new stadium with Birmingham City and so on. So when the time comes, I'm sure we'll take a look at this as a potential route. We like the fact that if new stadiums are being built there, they're built in a way that they could accommodate NFL games. That gives us optionality. So that's a way into the future as far as the UK is concerned.